Howdy friends, welcome back to the Eclectic Sam YouTube channel and welcome back to my eclectic corner of YouTube where I like to talk about reselling, selling on eBay specifically, thrifting, and sometimes we'll go traveling, go on some trips, and also may talk about some history. Before we get started, you see down below that subscribe button? It doesn't cost you a thing. Go ahead and hit that. And it gives you the ability to see what's coming in the future. Plus, it helps me out. Today is Monday. We had one of the best weekends I've had in a while. So let me show you what we sold. The first thing I sold is this vintage Raw Basics brand, quilted and embroidered, not quilted, but patchwork, leather and embroidered trench coat. That sold, I took a best offer of $90 plus shipping, and I paid $1 for that. That jacket came from the estate buyout that I told y'all about a while back, where I worked with my local thrift store. It was all vintage items from 90s and older, and it was stuff that they couldn't sell. So they called me up. They knew that I sold vintage clothes, and basically they offered everything to me at $1 a piece. So I'm still making money off of that, and I don't have a lot of it left, but it was one of the best buys I've done in a long, long time. Here we have some models from my personal collection. If you haven't seen that previous video talking about that, you can go back and watch that. But this is a Tamiya Porsche 959, still brand new in the pack. It sold for $12.51. And then next we have this lot of 3 Boyd Coddington hot rods. I lotted them up in 3 because I believe 1 or 2 of them might have been missing a few parts. But you can still sell models that are missing parts. Just make sure that you put it in the description. Model builders are always looking for parts cars and so forth to build, something else. But I believe these sold, all 3 of these sold for $29.01 plus shipping. Last up for the eBay items, I have 3 things here. The first one is this Imperial pocket knife. It sold for $16.19. It ran a little sale for 10% off of some items. And pocket knives I don't sell a lot because basically I don't know a lot about them. So when I sell them, I take pictures of the blades and I just sold as is. Because sometimes with the blades can be damaged or whatever, but I make sure that I show the blades so the people that collect them know, what shape they're in. But that came from a junk lot, from my death pile that I'm going through. Next up, I sold another one of those Nimrod camper pamphlets from the 50s, early 60s. I'm not quite sure exactly when. But I still have about 6 more of those, but those came from the ephemera lot that I was going through the other day. And last up, I sold a little vintage Hard Rock Cafe Tokyo teddy bear. He sold for she, or non-binary, who knows, $11.99 plus shipping. And I believe I paid 50 cents for it at local thrift store. Last item that we have is a vintage t-shirt from the 90s. From Wet Willie's bar on River Street in Savannah. If you don't know about Wet Willie's in Savannah, you need to go check it out. But this came from that lot that I told you about earlier where I got the jacket from, that I paid $1 per item. So I have $1 in that one, and sold, like I said, for $24.99 with free shipping on top of that. Well, that's about it for the sales for this past weekend. Things are picking up for me. Usually on the weekends I would only sell 3 or 4 items, so I'm pretty happy about that. But let's talk real quick about the YouTube channel. I know a lot of you have noticed at the beginning of the channel, beginning of the videos that I talking about history and doing some traveling and so forth. Well, I started this video right in the middle of the pandemic right at the beginning of the pandemic of COVID-19. And I'm sure a lot of you have noticed my breathing and everything. Well, I am real high risk of COVID because I only breathe with one lung, plus I have a paralyzed diaphragm. I've paralyzed vocal cords. But, so I can't get out and travel as much as you other folks are. So it's ventured into just eBay content, which is fine. That's what a lot of you love. But I wanted this to be Eclectic Sam, about all things about me. So a YouTube friend here, Shane, was sent me a message. He said, "Hey, let's hear a story about a trip that you've gone on." And I got to thinking, you know, just because I can't travel doesn't mean that I can't tell you about some funny trips or experiences. So let me tell you about the first time that I ever went to a antique auction, and what got me the bug bit me to start buying at auctions. I was going to meet a friend that lived up in Parkersburg, West Virginia. And that's, if you don't know that area, it's right on the West Virginia-Ohio border. There's Marietta, Ohio, Parkersburg, West Virginia. And also that's where Fenton Glass was before it dissolved or went out of business. And I was going up there, and I just bought a little, I'd call it a hot rod, little Mazda 3 hatchback. It was lowered and everything. I'll show you a picture somewhere here. But I was like, oh boy, I can't wait. I'm going to go on a trip in my new car. And it was quick. It was lowered to the ground so it would get through traffic and everything. I thought, this is going to be great. So I took off from North Georgia going up there. Flew through Charlotte and started getting up to Virginia and those areas. And then I got to remember, wait a minute, this is all mountain area. Oh no, this is gonna be fun. And this was before you had GPS on your cell phone. This was right when that was getting started. I had a GPS, but I'd set it to detour around toll roads, because I'm cheap. I don't like to pay tolls if I don't have to. So I set it to that, and I got up to Virginia, and then all of a sudden it started taking me off these side roads, old country roads. What in the world? And I'm going down the road in that little Mazda, and keep in mind it's lowered. So if any of y'all that have not ridden in a lowered vehicle know, you can feel the road if it's, you know, if it's real low. So it's going down these old roads, you know, and got up to a West Virginia area, and West Virginia and in Ohio and that whole area that I was going to is known for the coal. There's a lot of coal roads going in and around mines and everything. There these narrow little country roads that have switchbacks going around the mountains and all. By the time I'd gotten up to that area, it was dark. So I was in this lowered car on these old pothole roads in West Virginia, not knowing where I was going, and all I'd see was a coal truck in front of me and the headlights of a coal truck behind me. and I was in this little bitty car, and they would just push me around those mountains. And finally, once I got off the mountain roads, it got me back on the, I guess you could say, a bypass or a highway area. It was like, oh, great, smooth road. Then I got to Marietta, Ohio, and I was going to have to go through Marietta, Ohio to get to Parkersburg, West Virginia. You have to go over the Ohio River. And I got to Marietta, Ohio. Marietta, Ohio is known for its cobblestone roads. That was hilarious. So I was cobblestone roads in this lower car, and bump, 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 bump. I finally got through there and got on the road and got back to my friend's house. And while I was there, they were telling me about, there's this auction that they like to go to. Well, I was like, I've heard about auctions, but the only auctions I've ever been to were car auctions, classic car auctions. I was like, sure, I'll go with you. Let's go have some fun. They were telling me about all the deals that you could get. Well, at the time, I was still selling antiques like I've always done since I was a kid. But things started coming up for sale. Buy this lot for $5, that lot for $5, this small piece of furniture for $10. I was spending money left and right, not thinking, I'm not in my Tahoe. I'm in my little Mazda. So we got done. They looked at me and said, Sam, are you going to be able to fit all that in your car? Yeah, I will. So we got the seat folded down. I loaded that car completely full. Even had stuff in the passenger seat. It was completely full. And as all of you know, once you put stuff filling a car up, it lowers it more. So I was lowered even more. And the next day I came home in that lowered car full of antiques. But that is what got me started wanting to go to antique auctions. That little trip right there. And I've had the bug ever since. So, you know, it's neat how you have memories of one little thing that kind of blows up into your whole life. And, you know, I love the antiques and love doing it. But I hope you enjoyed that story. From time to time, you're going to hear some stories like that. And I need to start adding some stuff about talking about different historical events and so forth. And if you haven't already, go back. One of my first videos that I did was a little inspirational video about being an inspiration. I really enjoyed doing that one. I think you might get a kick out of that if you're new here. Go back and check it out. But if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so you can see what's coming in the future. And like this video if you enjoyed it. And if you'd like, go ahead and comment down below any suggestions you might have, or any questions, or if you just want to say hi. But until next time, my friends, I love you. Bye.